Greetings, Internet faithful. I am some guy named Rob from On Your Marks Wrestling, and I'm in a sweater vest. I have a tie on. I'm in Ottawa one more time. Unfortunately, I'm not outdoors. I'm in the parking garage because I wasn't able to find a suitable location to record. I'm on a special assignment this week, so my schedule is exceptionally busy. I was hoping that I would have a little bit of time before my day started to record something for all of you, but sadly that was not the case. Was not to be, so I have to record it at the end of my day, so it's now about, let me see, what time is it? It's just a little bit past 4 p.m., and I'm recording all of this for you, so I'm just trying to get this video done so it's up before NXT comes on. But yeah, because it's rush hour traffic, any place that was quiet enough from traffic noise had too much wind noise, and anywhere that didn't, and vice versa. If it, too much wind noise, too much traffic noise, it was one or the other, so I'm sorry. I have to do it from the car. So I'm in the parking garage right now taking care of this to try and get some decent audio to talk about Smackdown Live for all of you. So, a minute 15 into the video, here we go. We open up the show with Paige, who talks about the smashing success of Backlash, which generated a huge laugh from the crowd. Paige this week was not, unlike last week, she was not threatening to fall out of her top like last week. However, she was accompanied to the ring by Dat Ass. Wow, I have seen tighter clothing on people, but wow, that was very, very daring, because Paige looked like those pants were just ready to rip apart and just show everything off to the world one more time. Yeah, after she made the entire crowd laugh about how bad Backlash was, she did start talking about Money in the Bank to hype it up, saying that there would be some qualifying matches tonight, including one, surprise, surprise, starting right now. I'm really getting tired of this whole gimmick where the opening promo has to lead to the opening match. Why can't we just have an opening match? Why does every opening segment need to lead immediately to the first match of the night? It is so far beyond tired that it just gets me to tune out, which is not really what you want to do to your audience, especially since the first match was actually pretty good. Jeff Hardy versus The Miz. I say pretty good. What stopped this from being great was there were some spots that were just dangerous. I'm gonna come right out and say it. The reverse neck breaker onto the ring apron, that's a career ender. That's the type of thing that will break a neck or hurt a vertebrae to the point where someone's career is going to be shortened. That was just a terrible move by The Miz. The whisper in the wind was I don't know what the hell was going on with that. I don't know if everybody's trying to overcompensate for the fact that Jinder Mahal couldn't take the move, or what. But yeah, that was another one. That sunset flip powerbomb. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care unless I hear it from a medical professional. The Miz was concussed on that move. You looked at his face. He wasn't faking that look of dazed and confused. I have coached enough football to know what that look is. That's the look of someone whose bell was rung hard and has a mild concussion. Even though he finished the match, even though he managed to, do the surprise roll of pin and everything, I'm pretty sure that he was concussed, at least to a small degree. Because the way his head snapped into that canvas, even in slow motion, that was not great. Surprisingly, Miz gets a roll-up victory after a Swanton Bomb, a twist of fate, which is Randy Orton the only guy who knows how to sell this maneuver? Everybody else takes it like a stunner, except Randy Orton at Backlash, who actually took it like a cutter, the way it's supposed to be done. But twist of fate, Swanton Bomb, a kick out at 2 by Miz, very surprising, right away into a roll-up for the 3 count. Miz is going to Money in the Bank. Crowd is shocked. Jeff Hardy's shocked. I think the guy who was shocked the most of all was The Miz. I was pretty shocked, but mostly just I was shocked that The Miz was able to finish the match after taking that sunset flip power bomb. Ooh, hold on. Sorry, notes are... I'm using a different system for my notes today, so I shouldn't have to be like constantly up and down and bobbing back and forth, but hey, things happen. Yeah. Let's see. Hold on. Oh, yes. Next match. Charlotte Flair versus Peyton Royce for the women's Money in the Bank qualifier. Okay, this was a mixed bag. This was a very mixed bag. The line about it's only funny when Charlotte makes that face actually got me to laugh. I'm not going to lie, it got me to laugh. I thought it was pretty funny, but for the most part, the Iconics gimmick of being just a couple of annoying bitches is... Yeah, I'm done with it already. Their pre-match promos go on too long. There's way too much filler, and you can't afford that much filler in a show that's only 2 hours long. You shouldn't have that much filler for anything that's a 2-hour show. So it went on too long, and then the match happened, and how do I put this? Peyton Royce is kind of shit in the ring. She's not very good. She's not a great wrestler. A lot of her offense came off in like 2/3 speed. At one point, she hit a forearm strike to the back of Charlotte, and my toddler hits harder than that without trying, and the move just looked really weak. It looked even worse because Charlotte sold it like she was hit with a sledgehammer. Peyton Royce at one point goes for like a roundhouse kick, and I mean, you had about 20 seconds to get out of the way of the spinning boot. It just everything looked too slow, looked too sluggish from her. Not a great outing by Peyton Royce. And before people jump on me and say, well, they were really great in NXT. They're not in NXT. Stop making that excuse. If they're on the main roster, they need to move like they're on the main roster, like they belong on the main roster. If they're going to move at like half speed, I don't even think that would cut it as an NXT match, to be honest with you. Like, I've seen it. I'm not an NXT expert, but I've seen enough NXT to know the women's matches are better than that in NXT. Anyway, Charlotte ends up picking up the win with the figure 8 after a really weird roll-up type of thing. It's like it was like a 2 count, and then it didn't look like Peyton kicked out so much as Charlotte decided to stop the count so she could intentionally put on a submission maneuver. I don't know if that was intentional or not. The announcers made it seem like Peyton Royce kicked out of the maneuver, which didn't look like that at all. So that was a bit strange. Then we get, let me see, Cesaro versus Xavier Woods. Well, we had the bar bickering backstage about Sheamus losing. Sheamus is chewing on Lucky Charms. Of course he is. He's Irish, right? That's what they do. They eat Lucky Charms. They drink Guinness. And they, I don't know what the hell they were going for with that. The match itself was actually pretty good. I would have liked to have seen it without anybody at ringside. We're going to get to something like that a little bit later. But I do like the way that they ended it with Sheamus going for the outside interference, kind of the distraction, and it completely fails. Xavier Woods goes for something, and Cesaro gets up and hits the European uppercut as Xavier Woods is coming down from the top rope to pick up the victory. I don't know if Xavier Woods bit his lip or something, but there seemed to be an inordinate amount of blood coming from his mouth. This isn't the type of good blood that Lee likes to really sell something. At least I don't think it's the type that he would be looking for. But anyway, yeah, Cesaro picks up the win and sets up a match for next week where it's the Bar versus the New Day, and the winning team gets to send one representative to Money in the Bank. What do we get here? 2 promos with Shinsuke and AJ Styles, both completely forgettable. Nothing to see here, folks. Creatives run out of ideas. They've run out of steam. They don't know what to do with these guys. And unfortunately, Extreme Rules is not the next pay-per-view. So we're going to have to suffer through something at Money in the Bank. But we don't know what because reasons. Creative has no idea what they're doing. Next up, we've got Becky Lynch versus Mandy Rose. Okay, this is one of those things that completely confuses me. As Mandy Rose is about to make her way to the ring, we see her backstage with Sonya Deville, and they're hyping each other. Sonya Deville is hyping up Mandy Rose, and Paige comes in, tells them that, Absolution is dissolved, so, it's not happening anymore. And, oh, by the way, Sonya Deville is banned from ringside. Okay. Now, normally what you would expect is when you get someone barred from ringside, it usually is an indicator that it's going to be it's going to be much harder for that person who is depending on their outside interference partner to win. Mandy Rose completely jobs out Becky Lynch in this match. She controlled pretty much the entire thing from beginning to end. I don't know what they're doing with Becky Lynch. I don't know who she pissed off backstage, but she's getting no traction at any capacity. You didn't see her eliminated from the Women's Battle Royal. She's jobbed out 2 of the last 3 weeks. And I want you to consider this for a second. Mandy Rose got an easy victory in her SmackDown Live debut. Asuka got jobbed in a tag team match. Think about that. Just think about that. This match, not especially great, although the finish itself was quite surprising. Let's see, next match. I'm going to skip the backstage promos because honestly, they weren't really great. It was a lot of fluff, a lot of filler, a lot of creative doesn't know what they're doing. Last match of the night, Daniel Bryan versus Rusev, Money in the Bank qualifier match. Now, you would think that Rusev is not having a good string of luck. You would think that Daniel Bryan is a hot property. He's come off a big win at WrestleMania. He's come off his Iron Man his Iron Man performance at Greatest Royal Rumble. He surprisingly did not have to job the Big Cass and Vince McMahon's love of big man wrestlers at Backlash. So you would think he would be in line to kind of roll over Rusev, who basically has not been given any kind of push at all, in spite of the fact that he's one of the hottest properties that SmackDown Live has. But you would be wrong. As it turns out, Rusev surprisingly picks up the victory. It was a match. It was a night of surprises, and I don't know if it was because WWE creative is desperate, which I think it is, or if it's because they genuinely have a plan for what they're going to do with all these surprises going forward. I'm going to go about 80-20 on this one. I'm going to go 80% column A, where they don't really know what they're doing. They're just really desperate. Column B, that they really have a long-term plan. Not buying it at this second, and the reason why I'm not buying it is these promos. Why did they ban Sonya Deville from ringside if Mandy Rose is just going to win anyway? Rather easily, I might add. No interference would have been necessary. This was an easy pickup. This was an extended squash match for Mandy Rose. So why go through the whole thing with Absolution and Paige? I don't get it. It makes no sense. The whole Iconics thing, overly long promo, rehashing the same crap over and over again. Carmella with her Mella is money. I beat Charlotte Flair. Honestly, I can't stand watching her anymore. The character has all the depth of a puddle. There's nowhere to go with Carmella. Carmella has absolutely nowhere to go anymore. So I don't know why they have her as the title holder. It makes no sense. And I don't know what they're going to do with her at Money in the Bank. What is she going to defend against who? You had the promo with the Bludgeon Brothers, which was kind of cool. It was an interesting visual seeing all of the toys being smashed up and everything, but I don't know where they're going with it. And neither does Creative. Creative doesn't seem to know where they're going with it either. It just seemed to be, hey, it looks cool, let's throw it on TV, maybe it'll get people talking. I think that's what they're trying to do. They're just trying to get people talking in the hopes that maybe it'll inspire them. Maybe they'll see who's really popular so that person can get buried really fast, I don't get it. But anyway, that's kind of my recap for SmackDown Live. Lots of surprise finishes, but I'm not sure if it was in service of a long-term plan or if it was just shock value to see, to get people to tune in. I think between this and Raw, I like the matches better on SmackDown for this week. Definitely, it didn't have that lull in the middle. Like Raw had that 6-man tag of Baron Corbin and the Revival, which was okay, but meh. And then it had like the Bray Wyatt, the Woken Warriors or Deleters of Worlds versus the Miz Taraj, and you knew where that was going. Seth Rollins versus Mojo Rawley, you knew where that was going. Like it was everything you could have expected. You weren't surprised in the slightest by that, but SmackDown was maybe overcompensating for Raw in terms of the surprises, so I don't know where they're going to go with this. Give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they'll turn it into something, but I'm not holding my breath. Anyway, my 205 Live and my NXT are going to come tomorrow. They may be late. They may not. I'm going to try and get them out on time for all of you. In the meantime, I'm some guy named Rob for On Your Marks Wrestling, and we'll see you in the next one.